right, guys. Thanks for joining us on our inaugural episode of Floodlights. Where we discuss, what's going on in football. Give our point of views. We'd love to hear from you guys to make sure you like and subscribe on the channel. We love the feedback as well. Leave comments. We'll try to answer everything that we can. But I don't know. It's really about what's going on in the football world. So we'll talk about, the kicks and the goals and so sometime, but it's mostly about, the story underneath, what do you call it? That type of underlying story where everybody wants to know. So right now we're joined here with Altony and Warlock, our resident hosts. I'm Static, I think set. And from week to week we'll have different people on, but it's just really us as the main guys. We'd love to have you guys on. So, don't be afraid to email us or comment based on, the energy and so. We'd love to have you on. So thanks for joining us and we'll just get right into it. Remember, Floodlights, where we shed the light on the issues. So we're gonna start off today with what's going on in everybody's talking about this Russia thing right now. I don't think it doesn't reach everywhere in every facet of life right now. So we're gonna talk really about how it's been affecting football, what the players have been saying, some of the ramifications that have been brought forward as a result of people who are affiliated with Russia. So like for instance, we can start off with the fact that this is the biggest story today. Chelsea's owner, Roman Abramovich, has to sell the club now. He's now listening to bids. And I want to start with you, Chris. Like, what you feel about like the new turn of events that is happening at Stamford Bridge right now?
Well, first of all, let me just say thanks for having me on the show, Mike. As it relates to the Ukraine-Russia situation, my heart goes out to the people of Ukraine because, war situation, I can't even fathom being in a situation like that. But as it relates to how it affects football, as we all know, we are avid football fans, and so we know that it will affect us. And it has been affecting. You see different players coming out with the flags, and you see different players doing things, lifting up them shirt after scoring a goal and so on. The regular things that you would do to commemorate things, and now it's gone into lending their support in these ways, using their platforms to show their support for Ukraine.
Which you commend them for, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think it is commendable. Also, but as it relates to Roman Abramovich and so on, I think my thought still, even after reading a lot of things about it, is I'm not sure that this is a decision that he needed to take. I'm not sure what he's trying to mitigate, because there's nobody. Yes, there are persons in Parliament, the UK Parliament,
calling for putting pressure on it,
to be sanctioned and so on. But nobody seems to be biting as yet, and so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is not too premature as a situation, or it could be that, and this is a theory that I am building out in my mind.
No, we want it.
that it could be his protest, because one of the things that he says is that the net proceeds to the sale of the club is going to go to the support of Ukrainians, the war victims, for recovery and all of these things. And you're talking about an oligarch here. He's an oligarch. He basically benefited fabulously when the USSR got broken up. And so, I am not sure what is the idea behind it.
So you're saying something could
be. That's basically what I think.
So you're saying something basically from the behind the scenes could be like a driver why this decision is made, and not just because of the backlash or the pressure that he's getting.
Exactly. I don't think he's for the war. I think, like most people, you think that it's a senseless war. And that is just my thought. I don't know for sure. He has not said anything to that effect, except for I don't understand why you would say the proceeds would go towards the victim. And that is one of the
Something
things.
seem iffy, especially when he's been pressured, but nobody forced him yet to sell
Exactly.
it. Understand?
Well, and that's the thing. I don't even think that he's being pressured. I don't know. I mean,
what do you
maybe
think about
Anthony.
it, Tony? What do you think in terms of the pressure level in market?
Well, first of all, thanks as well for having me on the show. Mexico own club, Barca for life. But it's the whole war thing is a little bit tricky for me. But to speak specifically to the pressure, the England want him out for a while now, and not just now. They want to get rid of him because of him ties to Putin. And the thing is that he has been tied to him, quote unquote, enabling him for some time now. So to see, I'm just learning about him using the proceeds towards Ukraine victims.
Yeah.
That sounds very PR. That sounds very right. Yeah. That sounds very PR to me.
Definitely.
And to be honest, speaking about the war in general, it has been a big PR campaign in a lot of ways. America and the Western side of things making it
positioning from
positioning Putin as the villain and whatever, and Putin is saying, "Yo, we're not coming out what I'm gonna want that so XYZ." So I can see the PR campaigns on both ends. Russia not doing such a good job on that. And when it comes on to loss of life and war, it's go hard for you sway people to believe anything outside of that, because a lot of people are dead and people know, and the average human doesn't want that to happen. The average human doesn't want the war. A lot of people in Russia don't want the war. But in the same breath, the good guy thing that America is trying to paint, we all know they're the bullies of the world. So in a really that's a whole different conversation. But it's affecting football in how I expected it to. In some instances, there have been conversations that it should have happened long before, in terms of them canceling Russian teams from competitions and
that's true.
And so on.
I mean, they've been banned from a lot of stuff, other sporting events, most notably the Olympics, for their happenings.
Right, and
so
that was because of drugs.
I mean, it's still Russia. I mean, what we're saying is there was a systematic doping scandal throughout the entire team. That shit doesn't happen, not coming from the top, come down,
Yeah, but I don't think we can conflate the two.
Right. So what I'm saying, they got banned from other sports before.
Yeah, so what we're saying is they've always
in terms of the war. Okay.
Yeah, but we're also saying
there's a war, right?
Always been like this type of entity that doesn't usually play by the rules. Like when it comes on to foreign policy, sport, PR, like they don't follow the rules. And
Anthony would say that is a perspective.
Well, exactly. That's a perspective.
That's true. But
whose rules? Who's making these rules?
All right. Point taken. However, right. we all know that society is governed on a certain set of rules that either come from a religious dictation or just a type of moral direction dictation, which usually come from a religious dictation anyway. So it's like,
right,
for those things that are set, like, playing fair, equal playing ground, everybody get equal treatment, you're only giving what you put in is what you get out. Them type of basic stuff there. Like right. they take any advantage that they get, even if it's against whatever is the norm or accepted.
I mean, several countries have been guilty of that.
True.
For being fair.
I agree.
Jamaica as well. So it may not be from a administrative situation coming down, which we perceive that to be in the Russians' case.
All right.
However,
no, I think
America has been we haven't been able to prove that. That's just a logical step that we're taking.
True.
A logical thought process.
True.
America has been in history has been charged, and there were numerous people. It could have been the same thing there, but they're very good at PR, so that might not be so easy to prove. But in general, it's a sad situation. People losing their lives. It's sad that some the players who are playing for these clubs are being removed from competition, because even a Jamaican footballer who plays for, I think, CSK,
Moscow,
Right. If whatever competition they get for competing, that they're doing right now, we don't know when they might get reinstated. So
we don't even know when him can come home. Like they might tell himself he need to come yard, and there's a whole story on that.
Yeah, so we don't know how it's going. So it's just a lot of unanswered questions at this point. But overall, my 2 cents on it is it's sad, and we just hope for the best.
Understood. Well, I obviously don't want the war on it and those things. We hate to see, like, a situation devolve into this type of barbaric response and dialogue, not even dialogue, but exchange of gunfire in this day and age. But you don't know what them always say. I feel personally though about the whole Chelsea situation. I feel it for the supporters, I will say, because we all know. I don't know how long some people have been watching football for, but like, we older people, we know back in the Premier League in the 90s and the 2000s, while Chelsea was a quote unquote decent club with players such as Gianfranco Zola, etc. They weren't like that quintessential top club in England, right? And then we know that. Where say?
I don't see this affecting them much, though. I don't see this affecting.
I mean, he came and set the ground level for, like,
right. So I don't think
the system to work better. But it's like this guy came in and made you guys somebody. So I can imagine.
That's true. But I am in agreement with Anthony, because I think that anybody that buys the club now, I think they will pretty much. I think people have the vision for what clubs can be in today's day and age.
Right.
And pretty much anyone who buys the club will want to kind of keep the same kind of success.
To continue in that, right. It's been on the mold. There is a cut. Plug and play side them on purchase right now, especially them they're in a good position. Right now.
True, that's true.
Like buy like a small club.
That is true.
Now buy a small club like Newcastle, we try transform into a winner.
Yeah,
already have a win club with a lot of good
different
players.
Situation Newcastle.
I think a bigger situation for us to talk about, not to cut you, but the Man United situation. I think that's a more interesting situation as relates to
Can we start the conversation out by ourselves, Mike? Can we cut off in tools then, man? Can we cut off in Mike and we just start now?
That's true. Unless maybe I have the exchange, because
exactly. Because we can't
like civil to this.
And worse, Barca start drop some 4-love now. So
and I play ball now, so then I know, I'm Barca fan.
Exactly.
I know.
At the wrong time we having this conversation, we should have had this conversation when Barca was in the doldrums as well,
I'm looking at the topic sheet.
Feel good.
No, I'm looking at the topic sheet and I don't see anything Barca on it, so I don't know what we're talking about. We're talking about Manchester United.
All right, you know what?
Make him know saying a film show, Make him know it's a film show.
That's what I was giving.
I'm not trying to talk for you, Mike, but just let him know that it's not.
All right, here we go.
No, I was just working
better for all of us then. So we will give 2 minutes to congratulate Barca on their recent turn of form.
No, man, that's not necessary. We're used to winning. That's not necessary. That's not necessary at all. The last decade we dominated. We're not.
You hear them talk? No.
We're used to winning.
All right.
It's been over a decade we've been dominating. I don't have an issue with winning. So I just want to stick to the topic. You made a mention all about Russia not sticking to the rules. I want to stick to the rules. I don't want to be a Russia.
Okay, all right, no problem. We don't want to be
right.
So we're going to touch down on, like, what is World War IV discussion in that, what is going on at Manu, basically. Like, Manu themselves could have started a war based on, like, the different sectors of people that think differently, what the club needs, what they should be doing. But it's just been such a debacle, like, since Fergie left. And it's every time you feel like it's gonna change, I don't know. And at this point, I've got many theories. But I want to start, before we start to hash that, I want to start with, like, the stories that we're hearing out of the dressing room and, like, Ronaldo's influence or reported influence, or Maguire and Rashford's, or the England section of the squad doesn't exactly like the way how Ronaldo is going about his dressing room duties and such. That's like the real story right now that we hear keep emanating from a lot of sources. So I don't know, Chris, what do you think about this? I'll make Anthony go last.
Well,
appreciate it.
Well, all right. So at the beginning of the season, no one would have. I wouldn't have guessed that we would be in the situation that we are in. Now, I'm not saying that we would be going gangbusters, but I really feel like we would have been in a much better situation, win more convincingly as we went through the season. Because I think I think, you know, I'll tell you, I didn't buy that we had such a very talented squad. I thought that we had good players, but I wasn't going to bank on talking about talented squad and so on. However, after us reassessing that situation, I kind of came around to that thought. And so the additions that we made at the beginning of the season, I thought would have given us the much needed boost that we needed. The thing is, though, one of the things that I have come to understand as this season wears on is that we have to be serious about our rebuilding. And I don't think we have been serious enough about our rebuilding. I don't think the back office has been serious enough.
Back office has been shit.
You know, exactly. And as it relates to, you know, dressing room dust-ups and so on, I am disappointed with some players, because one of the things that I hear coming out of those dust-ups is people saying the coach is running them too hard. I'm like, dudes, grow up. You guys are playing football. I mean,
millions.
You're getting paid lots of money, way more than lots of every other club, almost every other club in the league. You guys need to push yourself and play ball for the fans. The fans are looking forward to you guys lifting our heads, helping us to lift our heads. We are there. I mean, you watch these home games.
Yeah, because what about they're human beings? They're human beings.
Don't give me that, Anthony. Don't give me that. Listen, if you're getting $500,000 a week, $500,000 pounds a week, that is enough.
No, if I'm getting that's the issue I have. If I'm getting $500,000 a week to walk on glass barefooted, it doesn't matter how much money I'm getting paid. The point I'm making is these are human beings. Them have a level of fatigue where their body can manage before them start breakdown.
I'm
A
sure.
lot of these players, hold on, allow me to finish. A lot of these players who are playing, if you notice, more and more these young players are getting injured more often and for longer. And I think it has something to do with them being pushed too much, whether it be training or them body just can't manage whatever they're being asked to do. So I don't want to just dispel people being overworked because you're being paid a lot of money. It does, because you're paid a lot of money doesn't mean you can't be overworked. You can still be overworked. That is what I think you guys are not considering.
Is that to what are the stories associated with what I'm hearing as like, okay, he made us run an extra 2 hours, or we had to train an extra 2 hours, or whatever.
2 hours a whole heap of time for run.
Anthony.
Extra upon what? Well, what was the amount before? Can you say that?
So let's say you had a 5-hour training. Let's say you had a 5-hour training. And the coach said,
2 more
a 7-hour way of training today. How much time did you work? Look, people are there are many more
right, that's not physical.
There are more strenuous jobs. Actually, I would argue that to me, like I remember like going in high school training in basketball, like basketball drills are way more physically like fatiguing on your body because they're so
You're
like
comparing basketball.
I'm just saying.
As high school basketball versus professional football. That's not
strenuous sports activities and jobs in the world than running and jogging and doing drills. So if you have to do an extra 2 hours of that, I don't think is nothing, especially if it is in an effort to improve what is not going right. It's if we don't win 5-6-0 every week for a long time, and we're talented with even fitness.
Every week.
You know, and then the man come in and say extra hour training would understand the man them complain. But right now,
hold on. So you think the players don't want to win? You think the players don't want to win too?
But they're not using their logical sense. They're not using logic. Because if your talent is not doing it. No, if your talent not doing it, if on the teamwork now,
right.
and the system owner use now do it. Let's try and control the one thing where we can run a team out into the ground. Fitness. Let's make sure.
2 more hours. 2 more hours are gonna make it work. What I'm saying?
Of course.
No, first of all,
in terms of fitness.
Fitness is not money problem.
And
you
I'm
think
saying
players are not fit?
maybe it's a coach. I'm talking about the players' unwillingness to accept a type of change, however drastic it may be, to change their fortunes.
Yeah. But you don't want it. First thing, you don't know what type of training they currently are doing or they were doing before to say that it could also be that these 2 hours is just gonna make players get injured more often because they're being overworked and what their body can manage. This thing is, it's not absolute. We don't know what the training entails. We don't know how long they train from on a regular basis. We don't know what these extra 2 hours entail. So we're making a lot of assumptions because your team is not doing well.
Right.
That's why you're making an assumption that they're not working hard enough.
No, hold on. I give some time. Okay, good. Watch me now. I get what I'm Chris before I make you come in. I get what you're saying, Tony. However, look at it from that point of view. It's like you need to look at the team itself, and as the player, understand that if the coach is gonna try something, right? The first instance you do is like get up and bitch. Like it's something. It's not just like he might try to punish you. He's not trying to punish you. He's not trying to. I don't know if they think it's like some punishment thing. The man try to change the fortunes. Maybe we need to run teams into the ground. Maybe that when we tire out teams quicker in the game because we're so high in fitness. Later down in the game, we can kill them with the talent we have, or it's easier for us.
And what if the players think that? And if the players think that they don't think that's gonna work, then
that is not your job as the player. That's not your job. Well, that's not your job.
They're the ones out there playing.
What?
They're the ones out there playing. They're the ones out there that run up and down.
Yeah, but your job is not to say or determine if the coach's tactics are going to work. No, that's not your purpose.
No.
You go in.
What they might be saying that will take too much a toll on my body and it's gonna cause me to get injured easier. That's a fair set for them body. That's for their career.
That sounds like an easy excuse. So like an easy excuse coming from them. To me,
all right. And I can say it's an easy excuse the coach is using because he doesn't have any tactical abilities to make them play better. That can be said as well. I'm gonna say, them not good enough. He's not a good enough coach tactically. Because so he might try to use hard work to try to overcome him lack of tactics.
You could say that if we could quantify if tactically that's why he's not or he wasn't doing well or whatever. Tactical application to the team on a match-to-match basis is hard to quantify. So you wouldn't have a good argument if you try to use that.
The players would know. The players would know whether or not tactics. It's a thing of tactics or it's just hard work. Chris, I've heard you criticize the tactics in cases. Wouldn't you agree that to some extent?
I back in the holidays. I know that I know that we weren't tactical. The tactics were lacking big time. But also, I kind of felt like during the holidays too, the players had it easy. That's my thought. No, the truth is, you are right in saying that we don't know the extent of the training that Man U players goes through. We don't know for sure. However, that is a thought. But another thought could be that they are not willing to push themselves to the limit. I don't think it's fair to dismiss. And I think, and this is where I'm getting to. I think you were your argument. I don't think you definitely went across to dismiss it, but your argument seemed to want to dismiss the fact that it's possible that these players are wanting it easy. And
my argument is that
far-fetched.
No, my argument is that Man U fans. No, I'm not saying it's far-fetched at all. It's a possibility, but I think Man U fans are convinced that is the case why they're not progressing because they're not treated hard enough.
Exactly.
You were very definitive.
No, I would like. I just like when it's like a thing where I don't know about. I know Tony. I know you play football. You see, me probably Chris play ball back in the day. I'm play ball. You see, me preet like even just watching football and playing football. You don't have no talk if you not play good and win. No, it's like
No, that's when you're looking at football in its purest form. However, it's a business. The players are entities
our
within that
products.
business.
Yes.
Me know
Yeah.
say, oh, you're right. Me know say I am not going to run my ankle into the ground or my knee into the ground, and then when me injured and can't play, you're gonna sell me or you're gonna bench me. So I'm only shooting myself in the foot. So you have to consider it as well, because I'm of the belief that no player should be loyal to any club, because these clubs are not loyal to any player. Anybody can get it. And that's shown over history of football, especially in recent times. No matter how important you are to the club, then we get rid of you.
Well, they should be loyal to fans who are coming to support them. And we have seen Man U fans really good, especially this season. I mean, throughout the season.
Man U fans are loyal to the club, not the players.
But I think there are signs that the fans are loyal to the players as well. Building these songs and all of these things it comes from it comes
of the game and the club.
I'm not saying, look, I am not saying that there's no love for the club. I know that fans love the clubs. However, I know because I am a fan, I know I love players. I love Cristiano Ronaldo.
Some players
I love Anthony Martial. I love Paul Pogba. Yeah, but
no, but I'm not saying there's no love for the players, you know. I'm saying the major love, the more important thing is club. What we always say, no player bigger than the club.
I agree with that. I agree with that too. But I'm saying it's different components.
Yeah.
The thing is though, you look at a player like Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba, I don't think has given his best to Man U. And I don't think anybody who can, Anthony Martial, after 2 years of being at Man U, he has stopped giving his best to the club. And that is what...
Why do you think that is?
Why I think that is, I don't know. I can't
personally,
say.
I feel Martial.
But I think he's soft on himself.
By his personal issues a lot when it comes down to football. You see me? And that's sad. And, you know, we don't know what's going on with him in his life more time with, like, you know, mental health issues and him, something array. But I think he's one of those people where their life can really affect, like, their form and stuff like that. I don't like the fact that is, but I can empathize with it. So I'm gonna really like cuss him and just, you know, make him go on. Pogba now, you definitely can cuss Pogba because, I mean, come on, World Cup winner, such a high performer in a Champions League over the years, in the leagues and when playing. On his best day, there is no player, players can only walk next to him. You can't see a player better than him on his best day in terms of midfielder. But he's just very inconsistent. That's it. And because of the
I'm also saying that if you look at these players,
because of the inconsistency, that you know split a lot of like people who like, you know, are Man U fans and such. You have a demographic of them where we say, yo, you know, just give Pogba time, rate him, look on the times and when him did come through or did kill a side through here and, you know, get 4 assists or whatever them are. You know, and then you'll have
but in the same breath,
we say, you know, to hell with Pogba because you know, do it 3-4 games straight. Him cost so much money. He never did on Instagram.
Right. But in the same breath though, Mikey, one, he doesn't have the same quality of players playing around him that he plays in the World Cup team. That's one. Two, he's been injured several times, and that again may speak to the whole training situation. Him injured, Martial injured, Rashford injured. A couple of the players have been having niggling injuries for 2 years of seasons now. And Man U, just to wrap it up in terms of whole Man U as a club, Fergie left almost 10 years ago. I don't know, we're nothing significant at the time. So I mean,
I'm just gonna leave my 2 cents here on this money part. I honestly, as much as I'm grateful and read Fergie to the death, when they were marrying him have like a brain aneurysm, come like one of my family member, the mayor said sick. May I tell you, to me read Fergie. But I cuss him because I feel like he did not leave us with a crop of players that any coach, like it didn't matter if he picked Moyes or whosoever next will come in and read. Like,
that's not his job.
That's true, but it's like it was a situation where he had a system where only him could have run it, only him could have make it work and win a league with it already, with a fading vampirism. and just left the club like that. So anybody who was coming would have to like literally build from scratch. For such a big club, so many players coming in with so much pressure and all of that, I never thought it was gonna be easy. I didn't think it was gonna be this hard and this long. But
Let me
I
say,
knew it wasn't gonna be easy based on the level of quality that Fergie left in the squad. Aside from Rooney and sitting there, nobody else never good, brother. Nobody else never good.
As it relates to Fergie, and this is my last bit on this because I figure we probably want to wrap up this segment now. But as it relates to Fergie, my thing with Fergie right now, and this is, I've been, and of course, you know, my thought processes goes through stages. I think at this point, Fergie should be sufficiently upset to be talking to because I don't think it's only players that is causing Manu these woes. I think it's true. You can find every single aspect
every level,
yeah. And I think he has the kind of influence that should be able to talk to the upper echelons of the people that runs Manu and say, boy, listen, what are we doing? We are not doing this. We are not creating something sustainable. We are not rebuilding properly. Stuff like that. And I think it has gotten to the point where he needs to use his influence now to try to see some changes.
What the hell am I gonna match every Sunday for and them sitting there for? Just you know.
All right, hold on. So all right. So one of the things I noticed with great players or great people who are great within their own respect, they generally don't do so well in teaching others to be great. So like great football players generally don't make great coaches. True. Or great basketball players generally don't make great because they're saying, I would do that, so why you not do it? So I think it's a similar situation with Fergie. He used to use average players that win the league. So I guess he's saying, yo, we spend billions of dollars or millions of dollars buying these players that are better than the players I used to have. So whatever coach you put in should be able to do it. So I don't necessarily know if that would necessarily help or not in terms of making the club move forward. Because based on history, he probably would have done a better job with these same type of players. So, but no other coach is a Fergie. So him just have to lower them, in my opinion, just have to lower them and make them try to figure it out. Because you guys have spent so much money on these players and not having any results.
All right, Tony, you're not fair emphasizing.
Hold on, that's the final. You brought in my club in it. I know Chris in particular. Hold on. I know Chris in particular was hoping that Barcelona would go to the decade of failure that Man U are currently going through. And so far, it's not even a season good, and we are in a better space.
Talk good.
So I'm just saying, if you're projecting based on the age of the players that we have and how they've been putting themselves together, it doesn't seem like we have to wait 9 to 10 years to see success again. And I'm happy about that.
Well, I will say to that, I hope you are not talking too soon. And I think it's premature to say that.
No problem.
No, it's a projection, you know. I didn't say.
But the projection is based on what? The projection is based on what?
Based on the age and the talent of the players that we have, the group of players that we have.
Well, I'll tell you, the projection is based. I think the projection is more based on a couple of games that you guys have seen.
No, man. I've always said that I would want to see the team when everybody's back in, because a lot of them are injured and whatever. So once we look before we have a projection, and that's based on how we look. I think we have a good future ahead.
All right. Thank you for let's end the Manu segment with Barcelona. Yes, and we'll leave it right there. Look forward to many of those slidings that you just noticed with Anthony. All right, let's real quick. League competitiveness. What's the most competitive league right now? Real quick.
Well, right now, I would say Syria is quite competitive. I mean, you have 2 teams joined top, but the Premier League is pretty competitive, has become pretty competitive over the last couple of weeks. I mean, except for that.
We can talk about just the table. if we don't want to make it too deep and talk about like the overall like quality of games in terms of teams facing each other, can just talk about the table.
No, I mean,
where is it, Tony?
The competitiveness question is always a little bit icky for me because it depends on what you use to judge competitiveness.
So let's work today. Let's work on table. Let's work on the table. The tables.
So as in, is it that at the end of the season, what's the points difference at the end of the table? Is that
so like
from one to the end of the table?
Right, do you expect it to stay this competitive in Italy right now, or you expect like maybe Inter to pull away sooner or later?
I think it's gonna go down to the wire.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go down to the wire as well.
I think it's gonna go down to the wire. And I'm still thinking that AC Milan can pull it out, because I think Napoli is very unreliable.
That's true. Very inconsistent.
Facts.
I would say they're inconsistent this season, but I would say that they are still unreliable in the sense that they will have a major game that will take them out of a situation, and they'll lose that game.
Yeah,
them do it over again.
They do it over and over
again.
Prove themselves, so to speak. Pass the litmus test and saying, all right,
exactly.
They're the big side right now in Italy, and they fail it more times than that. That's true. When I tell when they have to
speak about speak about competitiveness, or to speak about, I think I'm gonna say this again, and Chris is gonna say no, but I think at this point England is a 2-team league. There's gonna only be 2 teams fighting for the league for the foreseeable future, probably next 10 years or whatever. It's been that case for how many seasons now? About 5 seasons now?
No man, about 3. Remember Chelsea win it like 2020.
When?
Oh yeah. Yo,
exactly.
Forget the COVID now, 2 years of our life. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
But even today, but even this season, Chelsea was competing for the title.
And I would argue that the players like interpersonal issues.
No, it no matter. That's that. At the end of this, it doesn't matter. The fact that matters, the cream rise to the crop. So even if they have personal issues, they don't care.
But to say 10 years, I don't think. To say 10 years,
No, man. I'm not saying 10. Sorry, I probably.
You did say 10,
but I don't remember. Oh, sorry. For the past few years, I think at least 5 years, it's been 2 teams.
And it's a foreseeable future. So foreseeable future.
No, that's what I was saying. For the next 10 years, Chris, not 10 years since this has been happening.
No, I'm saying but I'm saying that I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it's going to go for 10 years. You know why? It could be that because all a team has to do is to buy some players and get a good coach and then get into the
mix. You do that.
But I don't think I look. We have had coaching issues. We have had coaching
$1 billion and still getting in the mix.
But that's not the point. We're saying that somebody can get it right.
That's what I'm saying. We have not gotten it right. We agree with you.
If you put in front of everything possible. So I'm saying, based on what I've seen so far, every Man City and Liverpool are continuing to improve as well. So it's not like them just sort of stagnant and watch other teams improve and them not improve.
Well,
I know you guys don't want to accept it as reality, because it would be too close mimicking of you've chastised La Liga for that over years, for 2 teams dominating.
You are right.
I know you don't want that to
Premier League to become La Liga.
Right, but I don't think you guys will ever admit it. It's gonna take years for not admit it. That's what
I'll give you that.
But it has to go over a certain period of time for that to be.
How long? That's what I ask. How long does this have to
I think it's 3. I think it's been 3 years. You said 5, because even 2 years ago, when Spurs we're not talking about win. No, but you can't say that. Let's say the race went up to April, May, between 3 teams, and at the end it come down to 2 in a June.
Right.
That you wouldn't say
my
it was a 2-horse race throughout the season, or for the whole season or whatever. Somebody was still in the race. Like
there have been several.
What?
there's been
Another-
several seasons in La Liga where Sevilla has pushed the lead up to the end.
When?
Atletico has pushed the lead up
When
to the
last?
end.
What do you mean push to
other
the
than
end?
this
Wait.
season. Well,
No, we're
other
not
than this
talking. No, not
Athletic-
now, you know.
I-
Not now, you know. Back in the days.
No, man, I'm
when La
talking
Liga was
over the
more about
right.
Barca,
Right,
Madrid.
Valencia, right.
Them they
Valencia
play
pushed,
good, but they weren't
pushed-
near them.
right. No. Hold on, hear me out. Valencia has pushed the top two. Sevilla has pushed the top two. Atletico has pushed the top two. Who else pushed us? Yellow Submarine pushed the top two. But what I'm judging it on is at the end of the season, what two teams are in first and second place. Because in no matter if you push.
Alton, here's a point. Here's a point I'll make as it relates to the competitiveness of leagues.
Right.
You know, during the time when Barcelona dominated La Liga and with Real Madrid, you can count on one hand, maybe one finger, how many seasons a team other than Barcelona or Real Madrid beat Barcelona or Real Madrid. Barcelona
In terms of winning the league?
No,
winning a match,
beat them,
winning
beat them,
games.
beat them in a game, in a season. Every time Barcelona plays certain teams, it's like at least that league back in the day, back in those times, every week it's a 6-love anytime Real Madrid or Barcelona play anybody other than Real Madrid or Barcelona.
How soon? What period are we talking about? What period are we talking about?
Dog, we are talking about like anytime between anytime between 2005 to 2014. Anytime that like the whole 10, 12 years there, once them Boca Almeria, Celta Vigo,
exactly.
Right. And in that same period.
But
and in that
just a
same
second. The point, let me finish the point. Now, in almost every one of the seasons that City win the league or Liverpool win the league, some team beat them. Some team other than City or Liverpool or Manchester United beat them. You know,
there's no season where Barcelona and Real Madrid has not lost to
no,
opponents other than each other.
All right, so I get what Chris is saying. So look on it.
I don't think you get the point I'm making.
There's a look on a graph.
Exactly. Exactly.
You see, City or Liverpool, they win 25 games. Them are gonna probably lose 6 games or 5, if so much. But you see, when you looked at back in the day with Real Madrid and
Barcelona, them winning
just 1 or 2, and then they draw 1 or 2.
I agree. No man.
And it's against them, and it's against each other. It's not against like a Sevilla or you know.
No man. I agree. I agree that Barcelona and Real Madrid probably don't lose as many games to lower tier teams as teams that have won the EPL in a similar time. I don't have the stats on it, but I would want to believe that's the case. However, they've also not lost many games to similar teams in Europe. So it's not like them are beat up them home talent, and then when them go over
what do you mean similar teams in
Europe? They similar lower tier teams,
but they have not played them. For the most part.
What do you mean? Them play them the group stages
in
the Champions League.
First things.
Nobody who is less than 4th in them league now. Champions.
Exactly. We don't have a West Ham.
Will never.
We don't have a West Ham playing Champions League.
No.
Italy. Hold on. No man.
Bruschetta. No.
Hold on.
Madrid will never play.
No man. But we do. Fine. But we do agree that there's levels to leagues.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Top 6,
right.
So the top 6.
A 4th place team in a 4th place team in Russia would probably finish 12th in a EPL.
That's
right. So them may attack. Them a little team. No matter if them finish first or for them league, them still in comparison to the bigger team. Right.
Yeah.
And over the last decade, La Liga teams have been the most dominant in Europe. So they're not only playing. It's not that them just beat them teams. They're beating up teams such as the likes of Man U, Chelsea.
It's not
first of all, nobody ever beat up Man U. Who beat up Man U?
We stopped it. Barcelona stopped it from winning 2. We stopped it from winning 2 Champions League in the finals.
2011.
2 times in the finals we played Man U.
Yeah, I'm saying 2011 at them time because That's not even in the last decade.
Anyways, I think I think we're kind of getting away from the point, but
I get what I'm saying.
But what I'm
go ahead.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is that I agree that we're getting there in terms of if something don't happen soon, we'll be getting there, and I will give you that alternate because it's only fair. It's only fair. But I don't think
just add to that stat before you move on, Chris. Just add to that stat. Since 2014 season, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last 8 seasons, they've only been 2 other teams to win the league.
Chelsea and Leicester.
Which is Chelsea and Leicester. And we all know Leicester was a fluke.
I don't buy it.
And if I never did Leicester, it would have been Arsenal.
That's a different thing.
So we can't even say that. If it was Leicester, it would have been
fair
Arsenal.
enough.
Still be at
fair enough.
Yeah. But understand
no issues. I retract that.
Understand.
In 6 of the last 8 seasons, 2 teams have dominated. So I don't know how. As I said, you guys don't want to put a timeline on it to see when we can say there's a 2 teams.
It's really.
All right, Tony, I'll give you this. If next season the 2 of them all the way to the end of them alone in a race, then we have become a 2.
Yeah.
I don't think next season. I don't think next season is time enough for us to say.
All right, cool.
How much then? What is the time, Chris?
No, let's not know. We're not
We will know.
We will know.
No, we will know.
That is just another way. No,
we will know.
We will know. That's what I think.
That's just another way of saying I don't want to admit it.
It will be clear.
A decade can't use a decade.
But it has not been a decade.
All right, Chris.
No, I know what I'm saying. Let's use a decade. We got 8, 2 more years left.
I don't think it's 8 either. I don't think over the last 8 years you can say the EPL has been a 2-team league. Over the last 8 years? No, I don't think that's fair.
All right. Well, I could finish up still. I could just move on to the last thing. I will just left it there. So
6 of the last 8, I said, Chris. 6 of the last 8.
Okay, essentially. But the main question we're gonna sit and stay with Italy for now. Like right now is like showing the most competitiveness.
I mean, most of the leagues competitive. Even La Liga competitive.
True, right now. But we'll just put Syria out there and then check back next week.
Syria, I think.
Right now, Syria are most competitive. Right now, this. All right, we left it there, so we go. Last topic still, and is an age-old one, but we're gonna put a little spin on it. Who's doing better so far in their season, Ronaldo or Messi?
Ronaldo clearly started off.
I'm really I'll tell you no, say this is my topic. However, I have gotten real tired of this topic.
True.
Yeah,
it's with a spin. It's with a spin.
No, I like the spin that Mikey put on it.
Still. Yes, with a spin. New club, new challenges.
So far
in the season, who's doing better?
Well, I'll tell you, go first.
Yeah, man. I would say Ronaldo clearly started off better. And Messi has been picking up over the last couple of weeks.
True. Leading Liga in assists.
Right, it might create chances like crazy for them.
It's 11.
Him should have got way more than him there.
True.
Right? Yeah, Zayn, he has not been scoring as much as he used to, but I've always thought that this would be what he would evolve into. He might evolve into a playmaker at some point. Yeah, because he not go as fast and as he used to be. Can rely upon him, finessing speed and him passing game. And I've always regarded him as the best passer in football, or one of the best passers in football. So this is not a surprise for me that he's not scoring as much. You know, I'm doing the post, I might hit the post now like joke. But if half of the goal man hit for the post, he probably would have scored more goal than Ronaldo ready to back.
And if Ronaldo didn't score all the chances, them were him like goal them. I not talk half chances. I talk in front of the goal, like wide.
No, man. I was just making a joke. I'm not comparing it in reality. I'm just joking that he's hit the bar so many times this season. So I guess if you just look at the casual, let's look at it and say, how much goal Ronaldo score, how much Messi score. Because that we
You know, I wouldn't even look at it.
them.
Here's how I look at it. I get what you're saying, and this is what I'm gonna say. For you, Messi pick up him stuff, but so far in the season, you'd say statistically Ronaldo's been doing better. I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at that
Just on stats.
I'm not looking at a statistic
Okay.
point of view. I'm looking at everything. So what they both are doing, the tools that they have to work with, the system that they're in, the bucketive that they have, you know, and the ease of the league that they're playing in. All them things I'm considering. For me, hands down, Ronaldo are doing better than Messi so far this season. Taking all of those things into consideration. Like Messi has friggin'.
I don't think you're taking everything into consideration.
I mean, what have I left out?
Let me tell you why I said that.
I put their stats in.
Let me tell you why I said that.
Yeah.
So, from my experience, it's easier to integrate a forward into a team than it is to integrate a playmaker into a team. When you're integrating a playmaker into a team, you're asking the team to run the plays through this player, which now you have to understand how to run off the ball, how to get yourself in a position, when to give him the ball, when to not to give him the ball. It's more moving parts to integrate a playmaker into your team, especially when you had one before. And that playmaker have to know work. That's the next thing too. You have asked a playmaker in Neymar to work alongside another playmaker. And the next man up there so want the ball as much, which is Mbappe. So you're fitting three superstars together, which is infinitely more difficult than putting the superstar in up front in a team that already relishes in some cases.
To what you're saying, I get you're saying in what you're saying in terms of the difference, but I would argue that in Ronaldo's specific case, he's dealing with the same thing. Whereas our team is a team of not a system. Our team is not a team of a system. Yet still,
what do you mean by that?
As in, we're not like a Liverpool or a City or even a Barca, even if them a play like shit, where them a play through a system definitively. Like our ball game is players go out there and using the talents. We're Moments FC.
I don't agree with
you
that.
Think you watch Man U and say a systematic football.
This is
Mike, just a second. I think we're getting back to the Man U argument again.
True, but as I said, do you see a system when you watch Man U play, Tony?
Yes, it's not effective, but it's a system nevertheless.
You see a system?
Hold on, just a second. But that is an indictment on Man U. And I think there is a system. I don't think Rannick would say that there's not a system. It is just not being executed properly
by the player.
Right.
It's
Which brings me to the point of,
however,
he's not in a system because these players are not executed. And they have to be funneling everything through him as I'm saying. Players did have them thing before. Have change them game for try to facilitate him.
Who ever changed them game?
What do you mean? One of our lead statistical players, Bruno, has not for fault of his had dropped in his everything productivity. Why? Not just because Sancho come out on the wing and then something, because of the wall where the focal point of the attack is now driven. Before it was like, all right, reach the midfield and then we'll spread the play from there. Now it's try to get crosses or feed a ball to Ronaldo. That's it. And
great. He's a midfielder. That's his job. That was always his job. To get the ball and feed it either to the wingers or a striker.
So I'm trying to show you that
I kind of agree with that. Let me say this about Messi and Ronaldo, and I'll just leave it from here. Personally, and I don't want to seem too hard on them because Ronaldo is 37 years old. Messi is no spring chicken. And as Altony say, he expected. I'm not buying that too much, but hey, because I know him always I come with him, back off things so that he can then at the right.
What's the hindsight 2025?
Yeah, no, Altony loves to under promise and seemingly over deliver. That's what he wants. That is what he's trying to do with those managing expectations.
You're entitled to that opinion. You're
Just a
entitled to
second.
that opinion.
It is an opinion. It is an opinion.
Mhm.
All right.
Right.
But this is what I think about Messi and Ronaldo this season. I kind of think I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed and it's not a big disappointment, because guess what?
Right.
These two guys, they deserve some time off. If you get what I'm saying, they deserve it. They have cemented their legacy already. Nothing at all can take away from what they have contributed to football in footballing history. But I was expecting a little bit more from Ronaldo. I was expecting Messi to go to PSG, string this side. I was shivering in my boots just thinking about him, Neymar and Mbappe coming together and what they would do. And of course,
and I'm being honest.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry to interview.
And I saw Ronaldo. I would love to see Ronaldo being a lot more aggressive and in terms of a lot more competitive from a output point of view.
And efficient. Like honestly, I don't need him to run another kilometer faster. You see, if him did score 50% of the golden chances that he's gotten this season with a second and
right. So all right, so that is what that even look at that. He's getting way more chances or more golden chances than Messi used to get when he was in Barcelona. So that's what I'm saying. It's most often than not, it's easier to put in a striker or a striker type player in a team because you're just fitting him in up top and then you have the players working around him than to fit somebody in the middle of that engine. To make take that engine out of the car and I put in a new engine versus you put on something radiator and up on the front. You get me? I say it's more difficult in my experience to fit in that type of player in
some people
not making an excuse.
Disagree with the analogy of Messi, but I understand.
No, I'm not making an excuse
Messi
for him.
is like a spark plug. In my opinion, Messi is a spark plug. And I feel like Barca proved it. Listen to what I'm gonna say to end this.
You now watch PSG.
Well, listen, man. No, you not say that. Listen, man. Understand what I'm saying when I say a spark plug. If you watch Spain, watch Argentina, and watch Barcelona, right? As the last maybe 10 to 15 years. And you watch the differences in their systems, how they play, and the results that they get. And you know, the common denominator of the good results, them are Messi, right? When you look at him in Barcelona's team, for me, it's always been like this. It's been an engine running that, recycles whatever and does everything, basically just pressures the opponent into like submission with possession, and then Messi just adds that turns their possession into goals. You realize that when Barca or Spain have the same crop of players, they can't be as prolific or as entertaining or whatever when they only use one player as a difference. No, in my opinion, it's true because the PSG system isn't built from the ground up around him. It's not gonna have that same effect that it's like instantly score and assist 2 goals a game. And because of that,
I don't think you're.
So that's what I'm saying. I think of it more as a spark plug to ignite.
Right.
Like.
And this is where I'm saying you're not looking at it holistically, because if you look at Barcelona, there are seasons when he not only is scoring, but he's also creating the most chances. So a spark plug in that scenario would only be one that's just finishing that giving that jolt and you score.
No. I think you're looking at the other.
Fine.
I think you're looking at the other.
Fine. But what I'm saying is the players run through him, the goals come from him, the assists come from him. So even when you get the assist, if you look at him like make that breakthrough pass or that breakthrough run, that spark, that as you're using your analogy, that sparks things to go on. So he's not only a spark, right? He's not only do that, he's facilitating other facets of the game. And when you're not Argentina, there's a worse injury, there's a worse carry. That's why it does as effective.
Yeah,
The
so
carrot
the
is never
spark
good.
plugs don't fire off as well.
No, that carrot itself, him just have be a shiny part. The part is not good. And just shiny. You see me? No, but I think the biggest challenge, and I predicted that this would happen in terms of he has not had the effect that I thought he would have had, but I also thought that this would have happened to some extent because one of the biggest things I've noticed.
Who did you predict it to?
That it's not gonna be easy. I said that in the group that him not easy. Like because when he just got everybody thought about Ray.
I'm just saying who you predicted that to.
I said it in the group that uno calm down because one of the biggest things I've seen in sports, and that's football, is having superstar egos come together and work well. That's one of the I think that's harder to do than having a bunch of average players play good. It's very hard to get superstars to play with each other. If even hear the arguments about them have bust up in the dressing room because Mbappe feel like say Messi outside him.
That was a very light story.
Yeah,
no, we're gonna light or not. No, whether light or not. I'm saying egos. The superstar egos.
Why would you even make an issue and then they'll go in? Like, can't you play sometime?
It was a light.
That's the reason why I want to leave.
It was light, and I think, in fact, it could be rumor. I mean, it wasn't.
No, but everything we're talking about.
No, Chris, we're not talking about that. Let's assume that it's a true thing.
Everything we're talking about.
Like Mbappe will go away. Should never have issue with something like that. You know, so that
maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I want to leave.
He's gonna be there.
From last season still. So
it is possible.
We never know Messi never come. So
did you guys hear the new thing about him though? What he's being offered?
Real quick. Oh yeah. We heard the black check.
50 million euros for the year.
Ridiculous.
And it's something like €1 million per week.
Ridiculous. They wrote him a blank
ridiculous.
Check.
Why?
Is the talk in the street. Ridiculous.
On top of that,
no player individually is entertaining, not even Cristiano Messi, is individually entertaining enough for Ghana that type of revenue.
On top of that,
much no Mbappe now sell that many jerseys worldwide. I'm sure of that. Because I look on the jersey sales metrics already.
Hold on.
He's not even in a top 3. So
Mike, 1 second.
Yeah.
On top of that, he's getting $100 million as a loyalty bonus. I'm not calling it a signing on because, of course, you're already there. You know, you're not signing on to anything. It's a loyalty bonus. He's getting 100 million euros on top of that. So,
in my opinion,
all this is good. Alton, and this is to our little ongoing argument. Alternate. All this is going to do is to make Erling Haaland the most expensive player in the world.
As he should be.
That's all that's gonna do.
As he should be.
As he should be.
He should be the most expensive player in the world.
But then I'm saying that. But the point I'm making is that Mbappe is not. There's no player right now who is worth 150 million euros per year.
That's what I was saying, Tony, when you asked me. I'm saying entertainment-wise, no player is entertaining.
No.
Right now, no.
I'm saying you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. No club plays a player for how entertaining they are. Your value is not. Hold on. Your value is not determined by how entertaining you are. That's the first thing. When name from Germany, not entertaining. The spectacular dribbles and whatever passes player for your score. Yeah, right. Him just efficient. So what I'm saying is, the argument about what players are worth is subjective to whatever revenue the club feels they bring.
I agree.
Or make to the
I agree. But in my opinion,
you and my opinion don't matter.
True, but I'm just saying, so that's why we have it on the show for tell them, in my opinion, this is what I'm leaving here. Mbappe, not prolific enough for worth $50 million a year, euros a year. He's not prolific, stats nowhere near that. And entertainment-wise, jersey sales wise, marketability wise, and such. I've seen the reports. He's not even in the top 3, neither in the marketability.
No, man. All right. No.
So
fine. So what? That's well, I know. But all right. So look at it this way. Hold on. Look at it this way. Chris say no player is worth that. How much do you think the player in the world that is the highest player should be worth?
Anthony, your questions are usually
no, man. I talk about transfer fee, you know. So if you have
no, man, it's an honest question.
Fee,
no, man, please.
Cool.
I don't.
Chris.
That
question is a conversation stopper. What that will need for me to do is to go do some deep research on that, because I think what is happening is that proper research is not being done into what these players should actually be costing. First thing first, what PSG is doing is sweetening the pot. That is the only thing them doing. It is not about what Mbappe is going to, the returns he's going to bring to the club. It is nothing. It is, and they're just trying to, and also it is sweetening the pot, mixed with a little sticking it to Real Madrid. That's what it is.
No, man, I'm not debating that's some element of that, isn't it? And if you have a player at the club, you have, if you don't want him to leave, you have to sweeten the pot. Just like if I work at a company, and next company offer me money, I'm gonna come to you and say them offer me this. Either you sweeten the pot or I leave. So what I'm saying is, the argument of the point I was making by asking that question, I'm not asking for you to give me the exact figure based on calculations. It is to make the point that your worth as a player is determined by how important this club feels you are to them, or what impact it would have if you left the club.
True.
So
I agree.
So that means there is no set money.
True.
That player
is
worth.
And I'm telling you,
you're worth as much as a club. And that's fine for you to think. Yeah, no, I prefer that argument. I prefer the argument of the clubs are stupid to play these players versus the argument of,
to me,
fine.
Mbappe
No man,
any facet.
No man, I understand.
I don't think it's just down to Mbappe either. I think there should be a realignment of a realignment. And look, Neymar they paid 240 million euros for him, and I can guarantee that no one thinks Neymar has delivered on that 200 million euros. And
that
I
note,
think
that makes sense. And on that note,
no man.
No, go on there.
I was finished. Yeah, I was finished. Yeah, so what I'm saying is I prefer the argument of the clubs being stupid in playing these players this amount of money versus the argument of the players are not worth that.
That's
because
true.
If I'm working at an establishment and these companies are making billions of dollars a year, because on my back, especially if I'm the biggest player at the club, who are you to say I'm not worth getting half of that? How you quantify how much money?
We can quantify, but that's a different discussion.
No, it's not. It's extremely difficult to quantify. I'm telling you why.
Extremely difficult. Definitely.
Because it comes into personal.
That's true.
Establish personal
Let me
preference.
just leave it here with this. There is a website. There's a website that operates under FIFA that determines why, what the World Transfer Market Index. It determines around what money people should be worth, and it's hardly like
it's based on what? What's it based on?
And they use various different metrics, and so all I'm saying is there is a benchmark that clubs can work with, and then they move from there. But like for the top players, I understand that it's like what a club determines like that player can make for them. I think PSG is mistaken in thinking that right now, what Mbappe had since last season and this season, him worth 50 million euros a year. I think they're mistaken in their thought process of that, and I'll just leave it there.
I'm not gonna debate that. I'm just saying that certain things are not quantifiable. Like how many young upcoming fans are you gonna lose because they idolize a certain player? And when
Understood. That's a good point.
Certain things that you can't quantify.
That's a good
like
point.
if we use Messi as an example, some persons thought he was paid too much in the last part of his career at Barcelona. But if you look at how much, if you were to quantify how much money he's made the club over his stint there, chicken feet, what he's getting is
obviously not enough. Obviously not enough.
Is what that?
Obviously not enough in terms of what he has made the club.
In terms of where I get that chicken feet compared to him at the club.
No, that is another argument, because remember, it's not only Messi's salary we have to look at. Oh, well, that I guess.
No, man, I talk overall. I talk sell everything overall.
Yeah, overall.
He's made the club probably $1 billion in his whole stint there. He's giving them new fans. He's giving them wholly more money than they would have gotten without him. So to say him the work that after make you $1 billion, you say me can get 100 million a year. Why not? Me make you $1 billion. You get me? I say so. It just, that's what I say. It's not a open. I understand hearing these huge numbers. Kind of, so what the hell would you be paying? But when you break it down in the different aspects of how these players have impacted these clubs and how it causes the new generation. Because these clubs, I think about future. And
that's true. One thing about them right now.
How they're going to stay relevant for the next 5 seasons. Right.
In my opinion, in Mbappe. With that, right?
Having Mbappe and Haaland are the most sought after players in the football.
That's true, because of their youth and their ability. But,
right. And having them in your team is going to guarantee.
But return
having
recently,
them in your team,
I think in drop. I think Mbappe has been at drop a little bit, and it's that me not understand. Like, if right now him now perform at that 50, whatever, you still give him in hope. Say,
am I the leading goal scorer in the team? What do you mean?
No, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of statistics, he's not up there in terms of what we are accustomed to of players who are the best players in the world for the last 10 whatever years. Not just Cristiano Ronaldo, like for years, man, like Suarez and Lewandowski, another man has scored.
No, I think we're the spoil. No, I think we're the spoil.
We spoil, maybe we spoil, but then if we spoil, do they get to benefit from the wage hikes that us being spoiled?
I'm gonna tell you why. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because what happened is the players before them set the wage bill to a different level.
So you have to come do what them are do for come get it.
No, man. Look, So our forefathers set a certain standard of living that them not accept less than that. So when we come on ban, it's only gonna increase. It's not gonna go back.
I agree, but you have to do.
That's a life.
Mbappe ever seen they did.
I can't accept that. I can't accept that. And that is not the same thing as your family situation.
No, in every aspect of life.
It is, but it cannot be compared to. All right, the point I'm making is this: you cannot compare to me having a family, having my kids.
I mean that way. I don't want to go into the actual thing I'm talk, but continue.
But because what I'm saying is that you cannot, if you compare it like that, it will seem reasonable. But if you are going to talk about what is happening in football already, because the truth is, these irresponsible is what, in my view, irresponsible payments that are made to players. All it's going to because of the fact that it cannot go back. All it's
that's what I'm saying.
It's just going to go and go on and go on. And then what is going to happen, Alton, is that the things that the club needs to afford is also going to go up. Like, for instance, we made the point here once already. To take care the Manu's field man, pitch man, is way richer than Everton's pitch man. Way richer.
Then he should be.
And that is what I'm saying. But it can't. It shouldn't be. To me, the margin shouldn't be that far.
So is Manu a way richer club than
yes,
Everton?
but that is the point. I
mean,
what I'm saying, Alton, is that if things were to dial back a bit, these things won't be so expensive.
If you dial it back a bit, it's gonna also be dialed back for the Everton man as well. So it's not gonna change. It's just like when you and I come from the same type of industry we used to work in. The
Mm.
money that we got paid when we started working, them people get paid way more now, and they're not as good as we were. It's just this, and I'm just saying that's the cycle of life.
I get the
That's just how it
cycle of
works.
like I get what Alton is saying. I believe
I understand
though
what he's saying. I
that
don't
you
think it's hard
should
to
though.
understand.
I believe that if once you reach a certain threshold though, like if you're talking about Messi and Ronaldo money, you have to give me Messi and
Mhm.
Ronaldo stats.
I
And there should be
I
that.
think
There
overall,
should be that cap or that marker.
I think
You
there should be
can't
a
pass
cap.
a threshold
But,
like
but
that.
I am
Right,
not
unless
even
you
talking
give
about
me
the Messi and
that
Ronaldo.
productivity.
Then that is where
I'm
we have
not
the
even
problem.
talking about the
That's
Messi and Ronaldo cap. I'm talking about a cap in general, and I'm not even saying that it should be low. I'm just saying that we should establish a cap because the fact is, we cannot continue to have these exorbitant. And the thing is, all it
It
takes
keeps
is
going up, yeah.
all it
And it's
takes.
gonna be
Look
a
at
financial problem
this.
down the
Look
line.
at
It's
this.
gonna be. It's gonna come back.
Mikey, look at this.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
gonna
this.
bite us.
Look at VVD. You know why Harry Maguire costed so much? Do you know why Harry Maguire costed so much? Because of
my
Virgil
Englishman.
van Dijk.
And
Because
also
of
he's an
that.
Englishman.
And because
Also he's an Englishman.
yeah, because he's an Englishman. But one of the reasons is because of what Liverpool paid for Virgil van Dijk.
No, man, I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is that you run into another problem when you have caps. Like right now, LeBron James is the most underpaid athlete in the world, in my opinion, because what he's worth to any franchise that he's a franchise may talk about the entire city. He increases the economy
and then the contract track, and then the contract
and
cap
then
have.
right, because if a cap might get paid about 40 million or whatever million he might get, he's worth to that city way more. So you're gonna underpay players once you have a salary cap, especially players of that magnitude. You're gonna underpay them. So there's another issues that we run
But
into.
I think there are ways to work around those though.
And there are. I guess the three of us need to bring.
We've yet to see. We've yet to see that.
The financial.
Yeah, because
all it does, all it has done so far has made the owners of NFL and basketball teams super rich and keep the players at a cap. It doesn't cap the earnings of the club, it caps the earnings of the players. And I'm not for that at all.
Makes sense. Well, very eventful. We're gonna close the show off on that note today. Thanks for joining us on our first episode. Gonna have many more. So next week we're gonna see if we can get some more topics going in. It's all depending on what's going on in the football world, Check in for our weekly roundup show. It's gonna be posted, you'll get links to it. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. Remember, Warlock, Altony, Static, you were in Floodlights.